3. A number of people share equally in a prize of €300. The following week, 10 people more share equally in the prize of €300. Each share in the second week was €2.50 less than each share in the first week. By the way, guys, €2.50 can be expressed as 5 over 2.5. Okay, so less than each share in the first week. Find how many people shared in the prize first week. Okay, so for instance, right now, what you're going to do is you need to get the share in the first week, share per person. How do you calculate share per person?
300 over X.
It's the price of 300 divided by the number of people. The number of people is what we're looking to find out. Therefore, we're going to call X the number of people. That's week 1. And what about week 2? Okay, so person week 2. In week 2, it's going to be, you still have a price of 300, but you have more people this week, which is X plus 10.
And you take away the 250.
Okay, which one's the bigger number? 300 over X or 300 divided by X plus 10?
300 over X.
Okay, there's a problem with that because X plus 10 is a bigger denominator.
But it doesn't matter because you're dividing.
You're dividing 300 by a bigger number when it's in the blue one than you're in the red. X plus 10, it has to be bigger than X because you're talking about a number of people.
I thought you were talking about the number of what the actual fraction
The share. Okay, share per person. 300 overall, 300 over X is a smaller number than 300 over... 300 over X is a bigger number than, 300 over X plus 10. Because X plus 10 is the bigger denominator, the one in blue is the smaller number. Alright, so what we're doing here is the following. The bigger number, which is 300 over X, minus the smaller number, which is 300 over X plus 10, that has to equal 5 over 2, the difference in the cost. Okay? Now, what you do next is you multiply out, do your 3 lines. So we're going to end up with 300 X plus 3000 minus 300X divided by X multiplied by X plus 10, which is X squared plus 10X. This will all equal 5 over 2. Shh. Alright, whoever it is. Okay, guys, next one. What we got to do is cross multiply. And what we get is 2 times 3000 is 6000. 6000 ends up to be multiply X squared plus 10X by 5. And what you're going to get is 5X squared plus 50X. Bring over your 60,000, or 6,000. You get 5X squared plus 50X minus 6,000. You're going to have to divide everything by 5. So you're going to get X squared plus 10X minus 1,200. Okay. Now 1,200, we can try the reference number here. It's a big number. Minus 1,200. But I think I found out what it is. You could have 20 and 60. You could have 30 and 40. 30 and 40 is a good one because we can have plus 40 and minus 30. So what we get here is X minus 30. X plus 40 equals 0. X will equal 30, which is the correct answer. X cannot be equal to minus 40 because it's a minus number. Okay, so basically there's 30 people sharing in the first prize, okay? So if you reread the question, find out how many people shared the prize in the first week. The answer is 30 people. Next one. Here we go. 25. For a concert, the choreographer divided a group of 90 dancers into equal numbers of rows. So you have 90 people. Each row had the same number of dancers. It was then decided to put 3 fewer dancers in each row. As a result, 5 more rows were needed. How many dancers were there originally? Okay, let's do this question by number of rows. Okay, so there's going to be two number of rows. Okay, so number of rows, scenario 1. And then there's finally going to be number of rows, scenario 2. Now, what it wants us to find out is, it was decided to put 3 fewer dancers into each row. As a result, 5 more rows were needed. How many dancers were in each row originally? Now, in real life, the number of rows equals the total number of dancers, which is 90, divided by the number of rows. Let x be the number of rows. Okay? Let x be the number of dancers per row. So, for example, if I had 90 dancers and I said x was 9, as in 9 dancers per row, the number of rows would be 10. So that's how you decide where to put x. It's 90 over x. In scenario 2, there's still 90 dancers, but we decided to put 3 fewer dancers into each row. This is x minus 3. Okay? Now, which one is the bigger number? Look at both denominators. The numerators are the same. X is a bigger denominator than x minus 3. So, for example, 90 divided by 5 or 90 divided by 3. Which one's the bigger number? 90 divided by 3 is the bigger number. So, in this case, the red one is bigger than the blue one. Oh, sorry. No. Red one's bigger than the blue one because x minus 3 is a smaller number than x. Okay? So, in this case, we're going to get 90 divided by x minus 3, take away 90 over x. The difference in rows equals, the difference in the number of rows required is 5. Now we're in business with our 3 lines. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3. We're going to get 90x minus, now this is the tricky part, minus 90 bracket x minus 3. Don't make that mistake. Multiply out minus 90x plus 270. Okay, on the bottom, multiply x minus 3 by x. X squared minus 3x equals 5 over 1 if you want to cross multiply it. Next step, the 90s will cancel, leaving you 270. 270 must equal, multiply 5 by x squared minus 3x, get you 5x squared minus 15x. Bring everything over to one side, bring the 270 over and spin it around, right? So you don't necessarily have to spin it around, I'll just show you what way I'm going to present it. 0 equals 5x squared minus 15x minus 270. It doesn't matter if the equal sign's on the left or the right. So all I'm going to do is rub out the equal sign that was on the left and just say, do you know what, I'll put you on the right, just to have a normal standard equation.
You dug your head in the
Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing here is we're going to divide everything by 5. We're going to get x squared minus 3x. 270 divided by 5, anybody?
54.
54. And then reference number is going to be minus 54. And when it's minus 54, you're going to break that up into 6 and 9. And it's got to be minus 9. X minus 9, x plus 6 equals 0. Dot it down the middle. X will equal 9. Or x will equal minus 6. It cannot be equal to minus 6 because minus 6 is a negative number. Now guys, at this point in time you must reread the question. Just give me 1 second there. To reread the question, it was decided to put 3 fewer dancers into each row. As a result, 5 more rows were needed. How many dancers were in the row originally? The answer is 9 dancers per row. Okay, so 9 dancers per row.
You guessed that.
Alright guys, there's 2 trips. The first trip is you're flying against the wind, okay? So you're going to fly against the wind. We'll call this the green trip, alright? So you're going to fly against 520 kilometers against the wind. So you go this far. On the return home, which is going to be the pink journey, you go further. You go 680. Okay, so there's your 2 journeys, okay? Now, you're against the wind in the first place, okay? So let x, the speed of the wind, whatever it's asking you for is usually what x is. So calculate the speed of the wind. The speed of the wind is now x. This means that on your way up against the wind, you're traveling 300 minus x. On your way back, when you're traveling with the wind, you're traveling 300 plus x. Now, there is also an expansion in this question. You're doing 680 kilometers on the way back, but you're only doing 520 on the way up. Divide it up into 2 times, t1 and t2. Total time, or sorry, t1 plus t2 equals total time. The time taken to do the first journey plus the time taken to do the second journey must equal the total time. Now remember your DST formula, and what this basically means is we're looking for time. Block out time, distance over speed. So T1 therefore is distance divided by speed. This is the green journey, which is going to be 520 divided by 300 minus x. The second journey, which is the pink journey, is going to be 680 divided by 300 plus x. And this will all equal the total time of 4 hours. Okay, Simon. Okay, guys, what we're going to do next is we're going to multiply out. So the first thing we need to do is multiply 520 by 30. So sorry, 520 by 300.
156,000.
156,000, and that is actually correct. The rest is going to be 156,000. 156,000. 56,000 plus 520x minus 680 times 300
Plus 204,000.
plus 204,000
Minus 680x.
minus 680x equals 4, and it's all being divided by 300 plus 300 by 300 is 90,000. Okay, so we're going to have 90,000 there. We're going to have plus 300x minus 300x minus x squared. They will cancel. Okay, now what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up at 156,000 plus 204,000 gets us.
Wait, where's the 90,000 gone?
Okay, guys, this here is not 900, it's actually 90,000. Okay, so what we're going to do is add 156,000 to 204,000, and we should get 360,000 minus 120x. Okay, multiply 90,000 by 4 when you cross multiply it. 90,000 by 4, 360,000, and finally minus x squared by 4 is minus 4x squared. Now what's going to happen is the two of them are going to cancel. Bring over your 4x squared. 4x squared minus 120x equals 0. Factorize out 4x bracket x minus 30 equals 0. Your answer is either x equals 0 or x equals 30. The answer for this question is the speed of the wind is 30 kilometers per hour. Now,
It's
just 45 bucks.
1 second. Okay, what you can do. Okay, guys. So, just quick error on there. We compare it to the back of the book, which is 40 kilometers an hour. So, what we're looking at here is 120x. Where is it? 520 minus 680 is minus 160. Factorize that, and what we should get is not minus 30x, we now get minus 40. Therefore, x is equal to 40 kilometers per hour. Okay? Now, if you want to check on your answer, all you have to do is go back to the very top, alright? This part here now becomes 520 divided by 260. The other one becomes 680 divided by 340. And as it does turn out, through pure coincidence now, that both trips actually took 2 hours each. So when you add them together, they take 4 hours in total. That's how you can check your answer. Yes, right? Now, 26. Shh. Paving slabs are laid end to end in a single line along a straight path which is 60 meters long. The paver has 2 different types of slabs that you can choose from. One type of slab is 1 meter longer than the other type. If he uses the longer slabs, he will require 5 fewer slabs than if he uses the shorter ones. Calculate how many of the shorter slabs he would need if he was decided to pave the path with them. Okay, guys. So what we do here is the following. You just need to visualize this sometimes. Right? So there's our 60 meters of paving, alright? You have 2 different slabs. One of them's longer than the other one. So you can see that this one's a longer slab. Like so. This one's a smaller slab. So obviously the shorter slab requires more. Okay? So the number of slabs is the difference, okay? So the number of slabs for the first one. Can anybody tell me what's the number of slabs for the number of slabs for the shorter number of slabs required when the slabs are shorter? So 60. It's the number of meters you want to cover divided by how thick or how much length is in your slab. Okay, so the first one is X because it's the shorter slab. Okay. 60 meters divided by the length of your slab gives you the number of slabs. Okay, that's the shorter slabs. Okay, now what about the number of longer slabs required?
60 over X minus 1.
Okay, number of longer slabs is going to be 60 over X plus 1. Okay, now which one of these is the smaller number? Can anybody tell me? Which one's the smaller number?
On the right.
The one on the right is the smaller number because the denominator is bigger and also the diagram shows you that it is. Okay? So therefore, this one here requires less slabs than the original. Okay? So, one type of slabs, one longer than the other type. If you use the longer slabs, 5 fewer. Okay, so 5 fewer. So the formula will be, can anybody tell me how to form? So this one here is going to be 60 over X minus 60 over X plus 1 equals 5. Okay, that's your formula.